Allina Health is proud to support your Loons as the official healthcare provider of Minnesota United. Every day, we provide expert care to keep the team in top form on match day. All across Minnesota and western Wisconsin, you can find the same dedicated providers just a short drive away. It's expert care when and how you need it. Schedule your visit at allinahealth.org today. Allina Health, all together better. Welcome back to a very, very exciting episode of the Sound of the Loons podcast brought to you by Allina Health. We are here with none other than Senor Hassani Dotson. Welcome to the podcast. I've been waiting for this one. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Z.
And in honor of all of that, we are playing Kansas City this week. We have a lot of topics to touch on, but first and foremost, we're playing Kansas City this week, which gave me every reason to go back and rewatch your absolute golazo from earlier this season. Where does that rank on your all-time goals list? Because that's a pretty clean goal of the year contender, in my opinion.
Like professional goals or goals?
Any of them.
I think that'd be number 2.
Number 2?
I scored a bicycle kick.
When?
U15.
Do we have video? Can we get video?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I did score a bicycle kick. That's probably number 1, and then that's 2.
Okay. Like a clean bike. You're like Wayne Rooney, Manchester City bike.
Yeah, clean bicycle. It was like crazy angle though. So,
yeah. It's because this one, we were talking about it in the coach's office. The technique and the power placement, all that stuff. I don't think the average fan understands how hard it is and how 9 times out of 10 that probably ends up out of the stadium, but not for you. Did you know it was going in when you hit it?
Yeah, it's funny because I saw Morris, he's about to like win a header, and I was screaming for him to head the ball to me, which sounds wild now. But I was in the moment, and when I shot the ball, I didn't like feel the ball at all. So, I can hit the ball pretty hard, but that one I was like, it just took off, and I was like, yeah, that's it.
Clean.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in our sport, and I think in every sport, where if you hit it in just the right spot, it's you knew that you knew it was it.
It's a good chance.
It's a good chance.
I had a free kick. I hit it against Austin. I thought that was into like went through the wall,
yeah.
But it hit the post. But I seen the net repulse. Thank God.
That's awesome. Well, so what's up, man? So we had talked. You'd made a joke about Colin Cowherd fantasy football. I'm in the fantasy football group. Take the fans into a little bit of the dynamics that is the fantasy football MNUFC league, because I sadly don't get as much banter as I used to because I'm not down there. But I'm somewhere in the middle of the pack. I think you're not doing great.
I am bottom of the barrel, but we got our first win last week.
There you go.
For me, fantasy football is fun just because I like to throw a bunch of trades out there. I'm hammering everyone trades. I'm picking up the handcuffs. But I think Morris and Ant, and they're pretty active as well.
The Bavarian Wall?
Yeah, the Bavarian. And, co-owner Rob, he'll sneak in there too.
So. I was with Rob last year, and the thing is, he doesn't necessarily deal with like the transactions, but he just wants to watch the games and have it be interesting, right? This is his way to essentially follow the games and follow Jalen Hurts or Devontae Smith or whoever's on his team. So he wants some skin in the game. And he's with Ant, I think.
Yeah. He's a legit owner.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like sending trades to Ant. He goes, I got to ask Rob. I'm like, oh my gosh, 2 people I got to deal with.
It's funny though, because we did, I was with both Finnish players. Pookie was strictly the investor. He put up the fee for the league and then just wanted dividends. He didn't even follow anything. He followed a few. I would have to like text him the players on the team so he could watch, but he was our money hungry investor that didn't return well, to be fair. But he was involved in there. But enough fantasy football talk. Welcome back. Obviously, you played it. You came in. You played in the match. Take us through a little bit of your journey and how we ended up here, because I don't think fans expected to see you back this year. Lo and behold, you're back looking great, looking stronger, fitter. Take us just into your journey a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I got injured and they told me like, the time frame, I always hoped, and I think people close to me knew that there's a chance that, I'll try to fight back. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that's outside of my control, but each day I like to tell everyone that's going through an injury just to take it each day at a time, because when you start to focus on the long-term goal, maybe a little setback might, put you a little depressed, So, I just kept working at it, and it's not my first injury, but, you have a little difficult times in each different one or whatever. But yeah, so I just stuck at it, and then it just came closer and closer, and then I'm happy I could be back.
Yeah, every day is Groundhog Day. I tore my Achilles back in I'm going to date myself. Actually, I'm not even going to say what year it was. I tore my Achilles. So I went through that as well. And every day is new, because every day you can either have a great day or you can just have a day where it's just not working. And you can't let the good day, that can't be too high. And if you have a bad day, you can't let that ruin the next week. So I echo that. But, in part of your rehab process, take the fans, who were you working with and what were some of the steps that you just took? Because obviously it was a few months, but who are the faces behind the scenes that really helped you get to where you're at today?
Yeah, I worked with Juliet Loris and Casey and Hillary and the whole staff. They were really helpful for allowing me to go there. And they were, in talks pretty much the whole time. But she did the first, I'd say, 3 months of it, and oversaw a lot of my stuff. And then I was there every single day, 5 days a week. And then I had some stuff over the weekend. And then Dan and Alfonso and Casey and Dr. Bershow came down to help me for like the return to play stuff, to do the individual stuff on the field. And then that's when, I seamlessly started being back with the team a little bit. And but it was a pretty easy process, especially like in different areas, a lot of egos could probably get, hurt. But everyone was just pretty easygoing and focused on trying to help me out.
Do you think your previous knee rehab has helped you in during this past few months just to kind of get through it, or just to change your perspective on how you approach things? Or are they different?
I think this one was a little different. The first, obviously, I did my meniscus as well when I did my ACL, but this one, like, my muscle came back faster, but swelling wasn't, didn't go down as quickly as the other one. So I wouldn't say they're exactly the same, but for some weird reason, I'm disciplined enough to where I don't really have to focus, too hard on what I need to do. I think that comes pretty easy, and then it also helps, support at home with wife and my daughter and the rest of the family. So, of
course, family's always best. How speaking of which, how are your family? Everyone's doing great?
Everyone's doing good. My daughter, she's in karate, so yeah,
it's lovely.
Yeah, she's got a lot of energy, so we're trying to, see what avenue she likes the best, just for fun.
Does she like the karate? Because I know with Cam, Boxy, I think Bo or Maxwell does it. I think Bo does it. Does she like it?
She does like it. Right now we're about half of the class. She her focus is good for about half of the class, but she's really young in her class, but she likes it. We also got her in soccer just to get that running around, but I think so far her favorite is swimming.
Oh.
Yeah, she loves to
swim. Good swimmer?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I need to make sure Cam gets swim trained or learns, because I can barely swim. I'm like just flapping in the water, but I know it's difficult. But that's great to hear that family's doing well. I know that whenever I'm going through any sort of tough moment, just like you are, that's the foundation, that's the backbone that helps you, get back to where you need to be. But we missed you, man. We're really happy that you're back. How did it feel? Was it a little bit surreal, kind of running back onto the pitch? We never doubted that, obviously, you'd return healthy, but it was almost faster than what a lot of us had anticipated. Was that a surreal moment, or was this one of those situations where you're going, no, like, I worked my cojones off to get here. Like, this is exactly where I want to be and where I need to be.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say it's surreal. Obviously playing in Colorado, I was more focused on altitude, and, performance.
Less of the moment.
More, I I mean, if we're up maybe like 3-0, maybe I could just focus on that moment. But, there's still a lot of work to be done, So, like I said, I just, just happy to be back, get some minutes under my belt. And hopefully this international break really start to push fitness-wise.
Because this is like a little mini preseason-ish kind of, right? Like that was the first little dip into the water of fitness time. But now we have, after this, 2 weeks till the last game of the season, which is LA Galaxy away, to where you can really kind of push yourself a bit, right?
Yeah, because I think right now, obviously, like you said, preseason, you're still trying to get that, game fitness. But in training, I feel good. I feel like, have my legs and lungs underneath me. And I think it's that game fitness I'm trying to build up to. Yeah,
we didn't, to be completely honest, we had a lot of conversations where once you step back into training, it looked like you just seamlessly blended in. It wasn't as if you were going through a preseason, right? Because there definitely is, when you're not with the team for an extended period of time, there's this adaptation process. But you didn't have that. You stepped in very seamlessly and immediately were, the player that you were prior to the injury and just kind of stepped in. Did you feel that way, or did it, appear fast? Because a lot of times, sometimes the speed of the game, is a little bit difficult when you're first getting back in. Or did you just kind of say like, this is, back to business as usual?
Yeah, I think like in some drills, like it looks maybe a little faster just visually, but credit to Fonz, we do a lot of like short explosive stuff. So that stuff came back pretty quickly, but it was more like, the bigger spaces, the longer games where, like I said, the fitness is where I was like, okay, like, there's some room to grow there, but in terms of the mini games and whatnot, that was just, just go get them.
Your team won today.
Yes, we did.
Team won today, which is always good. At Target, we're ready to cheer with the hometown fans and gear you up for an epic season. Whether watching from the stands or your living room, score big on game day with everything you need for the win. We're here to be your home field advantage at Target and Target.com. So we talked about your rehab process, getting back onto the page, golazos and stuff. As we go into now the second to last game of the season and then into the playoffs, what are your thoughts going into the playoffs? Where do you think the team's at? How are you feeling just about, Minnesota going into the fun part of the year?
Yeah, I think it's important for us. Obviously we had a chance to win a trophy in the Open Cup, but just to not forget about all the good things that we've done throughout the year. And most of it, unfortunately, I was a spectator. So obviously it looks different than being in the locker room. But I think my role is just to remind the guys like how I'd say comfortable we look in our plan of how we beat teams. And, just, to keep pushing and make sure that, we still have a lot to play for and, we want to win the big one.
Yeah. And speaking of your role within the team, you are one of, if not the longest tenured player, you and Dane, I believe, on the team in boxing. How has your role evolved over these years? Because you are clearly, in my opinion, not even in your prime yet, but you're still a veteran in a weird way, right? Like that those things usually don't go hand in hand. But, being one of the tenured guys in the locker room, have you seen your role change? Do you embrace that? Because there's a big hole that was not there, and that could be felt when you weren't there day in and day out in terms of A, the banter, but 2, just some of the mentorship and kind of big picture thought process like you're talking about, right? Has that changed? Do you enjoy where it's at? Do you feel comfortable? Because again, I think that your role is so understated, and again is something that was extremely missed in some, difficult parts of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I try, coming back not to, step on any toes, but like if I see one of the younger guys, if they're struggling or something, I always try to make a point to, say what I'm thinking and hear how they view the game, just so because I know they can get it like an opportunity, like Darius did. Mm-hmm. And when I'm on the field, it's all about all passion, all trying to win. So
facial expressions.
Yeah. So I think that's just what I try to do. I'm always trying to get that upper edge and maybe help guys in some areas that they need. I think that they could use help in. Just to make them better and set them up better for the future.
Well, apparently, me and you are Mr. Confrontational. I found that out. I that was news to me. But I think that I will encourage you to continue to have conversations with players about what you see, because I think you have a really good eye for the game and a good feel for what allows people to be successful in this league. And you've had success yourself. You scored goals. You've played a variety of different positions. So you've done a lot of that. And I think that type of knowledge can never be shied away from. And, we sit here and you've been, a long tenured part of the team. How, I would just say, how much do you enjoy your time in Minnesota? You and the family have been here for a little bit now, and you're settling in, you're the Kung Fu, do you enjoy this part of the season now that we're in fall? You get a little bit of the double layered weather, and NFL season's kicked off. Is this what you live for?
Yeah, this is my favorite season, especially for soccer. I mean, you grew up always start in the fall. I'm just, like I said, I'm just happy to be back and to talk about experience. When I scored a goal last year against Colorado, they said "Oh, Hassani the vet," and I was like, I mean, I guess I kind of
26
this year.
Yeah,
no, I'm 28 now.
28.
I'm 28 now.
28-year-old veteran. That's like kudos to you though, right? You've been in the league for that long, that you are considered a veteran, yet you're still not even hitting your prime though. But yeah, that's who said that? Which commentator said that?
I don't know, but
take it as a compliment.
I thought it was funny just because I didn't see myself as that, but definitely on the outside, you would definitely make that statement. But yeah, this is the longest place I've been in terms of, from college or academy. So definitely wake up, you feel a little comfortable, everyone, that works within the club and exactly how the grass is going to smell or whatnot, where your locker's at. So yeah, we enjoy it here. But yeah.
Is that something that, when you talk about being a veteran, it's one of those things where I was consciously thinking about my role all the time. And it's funny because I talked to Dennis how towards the end of part of my career, I was getting paid for Monday. I was getting paid for Sunday to Friday because I wasn't playing much towards the end of my career. So I was getting paid Sunday to Friday to go in and help. And obviously, you were a crucial part to the start of this season in terms of just the quality you brought. The amount of times I showed you clips and I was like, this is next level. This is next level. There was a play against San Jose where I think you overlap and you get a cross off and you trudge back 80, 90 yards to go and get pressure and win a tackle and stuff like that. But in terms of, being a veteran, is that something you're consciously thinking about in terms of how you affect people and how you affect training? Because, for example, you can see Will is very meticulous about the way he approaches things and how he deals with certain things. Or you just vibing because you have such you have an infectious personality. We're born on the same day. There's a fun fact for you. Us and Ethan Finley as well. But you have an infectious personality, or is it just kind of just par and natural for you to go out there and just be who you are?
I think it's pretty natural. I think only in this time do I think about, more about what I say, just because I am coming back. But
why though? I'm going to push you back on that. Why? Because you have the tenure as a player. Mm-hmm. You have the experience. You've been a part of successful teams here in Minnesota. Why do you why are you being more cautious in that sense? I don't think you need to be.
Because I just want everyone to, to feel it out a little bit, because like I said, during training, I can be, pretty intense, and I don't want to, shake the ship. But, I think as the days have, come along, I would say I'm back to my old self, but I don't really think about it because at the end of the day, it's all about performance. And anytime I get into it, we talk about it afterwards. But it's all about winning. And it's all about holding everyone to their standard, and then we can laugh about it after and make jokes. So
I think it's great. I'm all for. I guess I want to say I'm all for pushing each other. For me, what happens on the pitch stays on the pitch, and I love that. And I know that we've had moments. We played together on the left together a few years ago against LAFC. We had, with Adrian, we had a few different games where we played together, and I was all for it. If I needed to do better, you'd be the first one to tell me, and then when I made a good play, you'd be the first one to tell me too. So I'm going to encourage you to continue to do that because our team needs it, and I think culturally we need to be held accountable. We also need to recognize when we're doing something well, and I think you have a really good balance of that. But lastly here, I do want to ask you, since you know the team very well, I'm going to ask you a few quick hitting questions to give the fans a little bit of the Hassani Dotson insight into his teammates. So you obviously scored an absolute golazo, my opinion, goal of the year against Kansas City. Who on the team is most likely to replicate that goal? Who do you think?
I think maybe Joaquin. I mean, he has nice technique. I mean, it looks nice, when it comes off his foot. Yeah. Probably Joaquin.
Okay. Who is most likely to make Hassani Dotson laugh in the locker room?
Used to be Tanny. Shout out to my boy. We got a lot of funny guys. You were up there when you were on the team. Dane is there. That. Will, he can be funny. Depends. But we got a lot of good banter.
Yeah. So. Who would you say, speaking of banter, is top? Who's the one that is constantly on it? Because you're up there. You are the guy. But again, as the guy, you got to now put the marker down.
Man, it's tough because everyone has good in their own little categories.
Yeah.
Like boxing is real subtle. If you get Rob talking about, his stats, basketball, he's great. I'll give it to Dane. Dane's pretty funny. Yeah,
Dane's good. Dane's good. I was gonna say he's the silent killer. And then finally, what is your prediction fantasy football? Who is going to be the person that you make a trade with next to turn your season around?
If I win this week, my season turned around. We're great.
Who are you playing?
Playing Ant. I think I'm trying to get Lad McConkey on the low. So maybe Alec. We'll see.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on this week's episode of the Sound of Loons podcast brought to you by Line Health. It's been a long time coming, but I appreciate your insight, your candor, and just the relationship we've built. I'm so excited to see you continue to grow as the person and the player that you are. It's been a true pleasure, my friend.
Thank you, Z. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Well, that's it. We'll catch you guys next time. Be sure to like and subscribe. I don't say that enough, but go like and subscribe and smash that thumbs up button.